When Pokémon Black and White came out, it was controversial. A new game that only used new Pokémon, no Pikachu. But they say hindsight is 20/20. In retrospect, this game was a love letter to all that came before it, and Game Freak truly pulled out all the stops to show the players of the old games where we had been. And to show a new generation of players all the places we'd be going in the future. A game where every Pokemon was new. A game where the antagonists were serious in their motives and relentless in their endeavors. A game with mature character growth and plot. This is Pokémon Black and White. You start the game off in your room with your two best friends, about to choose your first Pokémon. After battling and destroying your room, you leave the cleaning to your mom and head out on your adventure. Bianca's father doesn't want her to go on the adventure, trying to protect her, but he can't protect her from his own rage. Jaren wants to be the strongest trainer in the world and sets his sights on conquering all of the gyms and then the Elite Four to become the champion. There is a moment when you leave your hometown, three friends all taking the first steps together. A symbolic pastiche of youth evolving into adulthood. Innocence fading into nothingness as the real world takes shape in its dissolving absence. When you get to the next town, you find yourselves to be in the middle of a passionate speech being made by the Team Rockets of this game, Team Plasma. They raise an interesting point. Should people capture Pokemon and use them? Isn't that wrong? A very interesting point for Pokemon itself to bring up. Most of us could agree that cockfights or dog fights are straight up animal abuse. So how is this any different? You then meet a young man with long green hair named Z, who claims he can talk to your Pokemon. He asks your starter something and seems taken back by its answer, which isn't revealed to you just yet. Then he recites the same creed as Team Plasma and moves along. Team Plasma is heavily based on the Knights Templar. Their uniforms feature a heraldic shield emblem, and they have an overall knightly appearance. They use a facade of righteousness to promote their goals and cover up a more sinister agenda. Gym 1. The first test is presented beautifully and simplistically to show you one of the basic and most important mechanics in any Pokemon game, which is rock, paper, scissors. For at its core, Pokemon is a third rock, paper, scissors, a third chess, and a third poker. To open the doors, to proceed, you must step on the floor panels that have the corresponding types that would be effective against the one you are faced with. While gyms usually have one leader, this one has 3, and you face off against whichever one has a type advantage to your starter Pokemon. The fight can get out of hand quickly if the opponent is able to get a couple bulk ups in. Your next stop is Nakreen City, a place made up of artists who live in century-old warehouses. When you enter the city, you find Charon waiting for you. He shows you the Poke Center, gives you some berries, and tells you a little about the gym leader before heading out. After exploring the town and stepping up to the gym, In comes out and tells you more about his ideals and his plot for a perfect world. He challenges you to a battle, and after you defeat him, he leaves you to face your chance at badge number 2. The gym is in the back of a museum, and its special puzzle is to find notes hidden in specific books that get you to the next clue. The last clue tells you to take a specific amount of steps in certain directions, and honestly, confused the hell out of me. Really, you just head up and talk to the girl at the bookshelf ahead of the one you're already at. Beat her in a battle to discover a hidden staircase underneath that leads to the gym leader. Take out her herdier and watchdog to claim the second badge. Apparently, as you've been fighting, Team Plasma has busted in upstairs and stolen a valuable dragon skull. You run out and are introduced to the third gym leader, Berg, before both heading into the forest to confront the thieves. After dealing with them, you head north to Sky Arrow Bridge for what, at the time of the game's release, was one of the most mind-blowing experiences in Pokémon history. You cross over a huge bridge, complete with triggered scene changes and marvelous backgrounds of sea and ship. This moment perfectly solidifies Pokémon's nod to the past as it marches toward the future, a mastery of two-dimensional pixel art with a perfect hint of the kind of engineering we would see in games to come. This was the moment when Pokémon graphics were being perfectly utilized to maximize the system that they were made for, something that we haven't seen since, in my opinion. We enter a city with skyscrapers tall enough to pierce the sky as the crowded streets bustle with the coming and goings of all types of people. We arrive at Castelia City. There is a lot to do in this city, and I had a lot of fun visiting all the different buildings and talking to all the different people. But at the end of the day, there was really only one thing I cared about: getting that third gym badge. So I headed over to the third gym leader, only to find Charon coming out with his shiny new badge, with Berg, the gym leader, to follow. He asks you to join him, and he's heard Team Plasma is at the pier wreaking havoc yet again. When you reach the pier, you join Berg, Bianca, and a girl named Iris. Plasma has stolen Bianca's Pokémon, Muna, and you all aim to get it back. You follow one of the Plasma grunts to a building which seemed empty and abandoned before, but is now revealed to be a hideout for Team Plasma. Ghetsis, the true leader of Plasma, tells of a legend about the founding of the Unova region, then lays into Berg, but eventually backs down and gives back the Muna. With that, you are free to attempt the Castelia City Gym. The gym features a hexagonal honeycomb shape, with switches that open passages to get you forward, having you traverse through walls of honey. Berg has a Whirlipede, a Dwebble, and a Liveney to take down, which lands you your third badge. After the battle, Bianca calls you on the cross transceiver, which I have to say is always something I look forward to. The cross transceiver calls feature an art style akin to the anime, and I really enjoy the style. I remember at the time of the game's release, it was pretty groundbreaking to see graphics like that in a Pokémon game. After a quick battle, you come to the next stretch of your journey to get you to Nimbasa City. But first, you have to make it through the arid desert that is Route 4. Heading through the sandstorm to the northwest brings you to the desert resort, which houses the Relic Castle, a place that will become important later. When you've had your fill of the sand, you can head to the east and north a little to find Nimbasa City, a place with a carnival and sports arenas. You find Bianca and both head towards the theater. When Bianca's dad shows up, worrying about her and demanding for her to come home immediately. Nimbasa's gym leader, Alessa, appears and basically tells the dad to shove off, and that Bianca can take care of herself. Bianca reiterates softly, and her dad have a nice moment with him accepting that she is really growing up, and her accepting that she doesn't know where her passions will take her, but nevertheless excited for the ride. After this serious moment, there is a need for something lighthearted, so you head to the amusement park, where you find In, who coerces you to get on a Ferris wheel with him. It's here, in the night sky, that he reveals that he is Team Plasma's king, and that he has been working with Ghetsis to liberate Pokémon and create a world free of despair by separating humans and Pokémon forever. After a quick battle, you are free to go and get your 4th gym badge. The gym features electric-type Pokémon, and you take roller coasters from trainer to trainer, hitting switches to change the direction in which the roller coasters travel until you reach the gym leader, the model, Alessa, whom we met earlier. She has 2 Emolga, which rely heavily on using the move Volt Switch, and a Zebstrika. And with that, we are officially about halfway through this game. At this point, you cross a bridge with the help of the trainer you just defeated, and you meet the current champion. He can tell that Charon's ambition of becoming the best needs to be filled out to something more substantial, but Charon doesn't get it. He is fully blinded by his dream, and it appears to him like an ambitious tunnel vision of grandeur. He can't see any reason to want anything other than to be the strongest. Although, the champ cautions him and tries to get him to understand that it's not about being the best, but what you do with it. I'd have to say, at this point, things start to get a little repetitive, not necessarily in a bad way. It's just classic Pokémon doing its thing. You go over the bridge and meet a cowboy that is your next gym fight, but first you have to deal with Team Plasma again, who are hanging out in a refrigerated truck for some reason. After you deal with them and defeat his gym, which involves construction elevators that go up and down, he unlocks the next zone for you by getting rid of a Galvantulin spiderweb that is blocking a cave entrance. The cave is called Chargestone Cave and is filled with mysterious electrically charged rocks. At the end, some crazy fast ninja-type guys sort of escort you to In, where you battle him yet again. The next town is Milstralton City, and is essentially some sort of airport. The gym leader here is aptly named Skyla and leads you up Celestial Tower to the north to heal a Pokemon. Afterwards, you head to her gym to battle her, which features a puzzle of getting shot out of cannons. After taking out her Swoobat, Unpheasant, and Swanna, you are awarded your 6th badge. 2 to go. Now, it's off to Icarus City, where we face off immediately against the Ice Gym, which involves a classic Pokemon trope, sliding on ice against rocks. Bryson has a Vanillish, Beartic, and a Cryogonal, all easily taken down with my Darmanitan. Outside of the gym, Charon and Bianca are waiting for you. Bryson comes out and realizes you are all being watched by those creepy, fast ninja dudes from before, also known as the Shadow Triad. They tell you to go to Dragon Spiral Tower, and that Ghetsis is waiting for you there. Then they disappear. Dragon Spiral Tower is said to be one of the oldest structures in the Unova region. Ancient storytellers claim there is a dragon at the top of the tower, waiting for a hero to claim it. A hero that believes in truths or ideals. You can believe in your vision for the world, or you can see the world for what it truly is. Reshiram and Zekrom, the yin and yang of Pokemon. Zekrom, the black dragon with its dynamic electric reptilian appearance, represents the ideals of yin, while Reshiram, with its graceful fiery avian appearance, represents the truth of yang. Upon reaching the top of the tower, you come upon In as he befriends Zekrom. If you're playing black, which seems more canon in my opinion, or Reshiram if you're playing white. In tells you, if you want to stop him, you're going to have to find and befriend the other dragon, and come battle him after he defeats the Elite Four in the champion. To do that, you are going to need a special stone that is said to be in Relic Castle. That place in the desert oasis from way back when we were headed to Nimbasa City. One of the 7 sages is there, and he tells you that Ghetsis is waiting for you at the bottom and that he is testing you. You make your way to the bottom, falling through sand pits on purpose. At the bottom, you confront Ghetsis and are joined by Alder, the current champion, and your old buddy, Charon. Ghetsis tells you that the stone is not here, and that you better go find it if you want any chance of confronting In and his partner, Zekrom. Professor Juniper calls you up, and has you meet her at the museum in Nakreen. Lo and behold, Lenora comes out and gives you the light stone, which must have been in the museum that whole time. It's decided that you travel to Opelucid City, where the gym leader is a dragon specialist and might have some pertinent information to help with your encounter with Reshiram coming up. Also, a great time to get the 8th and final gym badge. You arrive in the middle of Ghetsis giving a public speech, letting everyone know that their Lord In has received the legendary dragon, and therefore is their true hero. He pleads with the public that it is now time to separate themselves from their Pokemon and free them from the shackles of their Pokeballs. His speech puts the residents into turmoil. Inside Drayden's house, he and Iris tell the story of the legendary dragons. According to them, Reshiram and Zekrom were once the same Pokémon. That single dragon, along with twin heroes, brought the Unova region into being. Things were peaceful for a time. One day, the older brother who sought truth and the younger brother who sought ideals began to argue about who was right. The dragon split its body into two, one siding with each brother. The white dragon pursued truth, while the black dragon sought ideals. Their battle raged endlessly, and because they were once the same entity, their powers were matched. Neither emerged as a clear winner. They simply exhausted themselves. The brothers realized that neither side was right and stopped fighting. But their son started the feud again, and an instant later, Reshiram and Zekrom destroyed Unova with fire and lightning. Neither of them know how to awaken the second dragon from the stone, but Drayden returns to the gym to await your challenge. Iris is the gym leader if you're playing white. You face a puzzle involving climbing on a giant moving dragon statue with switches that move its arms and head in various ways, eventually leading you to the gym leader. Drayden has a fracture, a Druddigon, and a Haxorus. After the battle, you meet up with Professor Juniper, and she is so impressed with your progress, she gives you a Master Ball. With that, you are off to the end of the game, the final destination of this journey. You enter the badge check gates, which could feel monotonous, but actually are done fantastically well. Every gate features an atmospheric snippet of your journey, and as you pass through them, you remember everywhere you've been and everything you've conquered. You find yourself at Victory Road, the last dungeon of the game. You go through cave channels upward and sometimes back down, battling the toughest trainers yet with every step bringing you closer to the Elite Four and the end of the game, and to the answers of all remaining questions. Can you rise to the top and beat the Four? Will you ever find the twin dragon and confront In and stop his plot? And what's Ghetsis really planning? This is your last moment to prepare your team before the conclusion of this epic adventure. The Elite Four, the final test of a Pokemon trainer's skills. Up to this point in Pokemon history, every game has had this feature. You travel across the region collecting the 8 gym badges. Then, you go through Victory Road to challenge the Elite Four. After the Elite Four, a quote-unquote surprise battle against your rival, who has conveniently just finished the Elite Four himself. Like literally right before you did. Somehow. Pokémon Black and White have a nice way of honoring this system, yet splicing it up at the same time and making it unique. You can challenge the Unova region's Elite Four in any order that you choose. I went from left to right, facing off against the Ghost-type trainer Chantal first. The walk up to the trainer was pretty epic, or the float up to them, I should say. Chantal has 4 Pokemon. A Cofagrigus, a Jellicent, a Galurk, and a Chandelure. No problem for a couple of dark types and a water type to take down. Then, there is the psychic type trainer, Caitlin. You approach her and she is asleep in an elaborate bed and definitely a little grumpy about being woken up. Once again, your dark type Pokemon will reign supreme in this fight against her Rhinonucleus, Sigilif, Musharna, in Gothatel. Next up is Grimsley. The room is an elegant ballroom. Torches line a spiral staircase and burst to life as you walk by them. All of his Pokemon are weak to fighting type attacks, and a water type and fire type can really help with his Crocodile and Bisharp. Be careful with his Liepard, which has Aerial Ace, and his Scrafty, which has the Moxie ability. In the last fight against Marshall, the master of fighting type Pokemon, a platform winds you up and around to face him. I struggled in this fight because he's weak to flying types, but has a lot of tools to take them down. If you have a Samurott, you could teach it Aerial Ace as far as I've read, but I just sort of toughed it out and made it through this fight on my third try. My team for this was Samurott, Darmanitan, Crocodile, Excadrill, and a Galvantula with a Swoobat that wasn't leveled up enough to do anything. This is when, in a normal Pokemon game, you would fight your rival, enter the Hall of Fame after defeating him, and watch the credits roll. But that is not what this game does. You walk in to just catch the champion Alder being defeated by In. He begs In to not separate people from Pokemon, but In isn't having it. Suddenly, the ground starts shaking, and a giant castle envelops the Elite Four. It is Team Plasma's castle, In's castle. As you enter the castle, you are confronted by 6 of the 7 sages, and they mean to take you down. Just then, all of the gym leaders from across the land enter to protect you and take up the battle, leaving you free to head up the stairs and confront In. On the second floor, the Shadow Triad appears, and are actually helpful for once. They let you know that you can heal your Pokemon in one room, and there is a PC to switch things out in another. Ghetsis is at the top, and he excitedly invites you into the throne room to see if you can be a hero. You enter, and In is there, ready to challenge you. His dragon comes from behind, crashing through the wall in a show of ultimate machismo. Then, your Lightstone springs up from your pocket and begins to shine vividly. Suddenly, the white dragon Reshiram is standing there, ready to face you. You have a moment before, so what I did was I ran back to the PC and shelved my Swoobat, planning to use the Master Ball on Reshiram and immediately use it to help me take down In. My team didn't have too much of a problem taking down his Pokemon, who all have a lot of weaknesses to things like fighting types, fire types, and water types. Having Signal Beam on my Galvantula allowed me to take down his Zoroark once I figured out which one it was. Darmanitan took care of Klinklang, and Vanillux no problem. Archeops and Caracosta were probably the hardest ones, but I managed it. Finally defeated, In is forced to question his convictions. 2 heroes at the same time, one that pursues truth, one that pursues ideals. Could they both be right? Ghetsis appears and yells at In for losing to an ordinary trainer. His words also imply that In is his son, as they apparently share the surname Harmonia. Ghetsis reveals that he was pulling Team Plasma's strings all along, and hoped to use his position within the organization to manipulate people into releasing their Pokemon, leaving themselves defenseless against his ambitions. He says that those who get in the way must be eliminated. Alder and Sharon arrive to help, and Ghetsis attacks. Now, His team was completely unexpected and a serious problem. After defeating his Caphadrigus, he hit me with the Hydreigon, which started one-shotting everything I had. My Samurott was the only one who could withstand his attacks, and I used that to my advantage to strategically revive and heal the rest of my Pokémon while simultaneously keeping Samurott alive. After a while, I wore the Hydreigon down and even depleted some of its moves entirely before finally being able to take it out. Seismitoad has been a problem for me this whole game, and I don't have any grass types on my team, and its typing makes electric and water types useless. Having revived my Darmanitan in the back, I was able to take down Bisharp with it, while the Bouffalant and Electros proved not to be too big of a problem. After the battle, Ghetsis really crashes into mania, as his entire plan has been unspun. He used In to get to the dragon, and the dragon to get to the people, only so they would become defenseless, as he urged them to discard their Pokémon, secretly never planning to discard his own. Alder and Sharon arrive and take Ghetsis into custody, as In finally tells you what your own Pokémon had told him way back at the beginning of the game. It had told him that it liked being with you, that it wouldn't have it any other way. He throws out his Zekrom into the hole, climbs onto its back, and bids you farewell as the credits roll. No Hall of Fame, no professor telling you how great you are, no Pikachu. Just an excellent story, told to a T. A story so grand that it supersedes the format of the game. And with that, Generation 5 of Pokémon waves goodbye. And with it, all we had come to know and love about Pokémon up to that point. After the credits, you appear at your house to find you are being beckoned into the post-game immediately. Detective Looker is there impersonating your mom, and after his disguise is shed, he urges you to help him find and defeat the sages that all escaped. You can put the game down, or keep going. Bianca talks of going to Black City, and Sharon talks of visiting familiar routes all over again, and no one says anything about paid DLC. It's just pure, beautiful post-game, already there, just waiting for you to dive in. And perhaps we will, but that will have to be in another video. If you've made it this far, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for watching this. This is the part where I cheekily ask you to like and subscribe and comment, and maybe try and promote Raycons or Bombas or Cash App. But I think instead, I'll stop recording, turn my Nintendo DS on, and go see if I can find those sages. Oh, and remember when I said that this was the last time we would get a game like this? I lied. There's a sequel.